Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph.
I'm Molly.
We have a lot to talk about because this episode is covering Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's a sequel.
I didn't know it was a sequel.
So me either. Until today. I went on Facebook and it was so weird because I was like, oh shit, I have to finish Winnie the Pooh. And the first post on my timeline was somebody posted the poster for this movie in a horror group that I'm in. And they love this movie. And they were like, loved the first one too. And I was like,
Is their mental health okay?
I don't question the people in this group because I feel
And
like
it's a
the
Facebook group.
majority is no, but I'm in the group. So who am I?
Yeah.
You know
You
what I
can't
mean?
slag them off without kind of slagging yourself off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am a ball of rage,
Oh no.
and Lindsay is getting it for suggesting this.
In my girl's defense, we were just so initially what happened was we were planning a horror romance month. That's not easy to come by because most of
Mhm.
horror romance is like Dracula retellings, I
It's
feel.
just, yeah, it's just sexy vampires, the occasional zombie, maybe one or two werewolves. Kind of boring.
Yeah, and so very quickly we realized that was not the vibe. So I was like, let's just do randos. And she picked this one, but like so we were just picking what was available.
Was she blindfolded and threw a dart at a dartboard?
No.
Then there is no excuse.
I heard about a Winnie the Pooh movie like a couple years ago. And
Yeah, so did I. I was in the cinemas and everything.
was it?
I think so, yeah. Because this one definitely, it did not seem like something that would be in the cinema. In fact, I've actually seen better made student movies
Correct.
meant to absolutely disrespectfully.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. And I was like, that's interesting. Like I could watch that. But then we got here and I was like, oh no, like, oh no, no one should ever. But you know what I realized? It makes sense that this is a sequel because you only see Pooh and Piglet and then rest in peace Eeyore. Where's Rabbit? Where's Owl?
5 minutes in and they eat my favorite one.
Well, to be fair, okay, so this is the premise. I have no idea what the first one could possibly be. And at some point, I'm gonna have to Google it while we're recording this so that we can see.
So we can
But
just have a little snoop.
yeah. Because in this one, Christopher Robin is a grown up with a fiance, and he's like, baby, I'm not crazy. All those stories that I told you, they was real. I'm gonna take you to the 100 Acre Wood before we get married.
That's written really ominously on a piece of driftwood.
Yeah. So like, here's my thing before we launch into the fact that she actually went, which I would never do. I'm not even going to date a boy who tells me, yeah, when I was a kid, I had these friends and I used to sneak them food from my kitchen and that's how they survived. But they were like animals that talked to me.
Here's the thing as well. How did a little kid steal enough food from his kitchen without being noticed by his parents to feed? Okay, I know that that's slightly different than the Disney version, but there's at least four of them, right?
Yeah.
And they're animals, so they eat a lot. So we've
Yeah.
got a donkey, a bear,
A bear.
a piglet, and an owl.
Yeah.
That's
And
at least four. There might be another one that I didn't,
then a
I can't
donkey.
remember.
Wait, did you say the donkey?
I did say the donkey. I
Okay.
never forget the donkey. He's my favorite.
Rabbit.
Apart from when they ate him.
Rabbit. Who was like the old man, if I
Yeah.
remember. Okay, so like here's my other question. Were they cute little animals or were they half people animals? And if so, were they half children animals or were these big grown up bastards?
I think they were half children because they kind of describe them as abominations at the beginning, which, by the way, the only bit that kind of got me creeped out was the animation at the start because
It was scary.
it was quite spooky
Yeah.
actually, and I was sort of going like I started to get a little bit excited because I was going, oh, if it keeps up this tone, and then it immediately just plummeted in quality.
Like awful, like big lumberjack dudes with animal masks on. And you know what was so
Winnie the Pooh has a pot belly.
yeah, because he's a bear, but you know what was so scary of him?
Yes. No.
His face was smooth. He wasn't even flopped. Why is he smooth like that? Why are
The
those neck rolls so smooth?
the first point that I wrote down, which by the way, most of my notes for
I didn't
this
take
are
any.
in caps lock.
I didn't take any because I was just like, nope, no.
I had to get because it was late at night and this was last night. It was quite late at night. I had work in the morning. I didn't want to disturb my family, so I had to channel all my anger into the her notes app on my phone. The
Yeah.
first one is, why are the masks so terrible?
Because it's awful. They're like big, gross, greasy man monsters.
They're so greasy. Yeah.
They're very everything's
You've
greasy.
pinned it honestly, because that's the
Yeah.
word. I've been
Yeah.
trying to think of the word. The word is greasy.
It's smooth and greasy.
Ugh, like a seal.
They're that's disgusting. It's
I
disgusting.
upset myself.
So yeah. No, it's awful. So yeah, I'm not gonna date that boy. And when proposes to me, if I do for whatever reason date him, and he's like, I'm gonna take you to these. I'm not going. I'm not going. And he was not listening. She's like, we have to get out of here. We're in danger. And Christopher Robin's like, these are my friends. Your friends who you have literally abandoned from child.
Yeah.
You're a grown man. You have not come to visit them. You have not checked on them. Why do you think it's okay to take them back? I would just be like, too late. I'm never coming back. I'm never coming back.
Just run. Just cling on to the nice memories and pretend that they're, I don't know, fake. You could have, see, a logical person when they went off to uni would go, huh, that was a really active imagination that I had.
Oh, you know what? Maybe this isn't. I am so confused because there's a Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2.
So this isn't a sequel.
I guess not.
But that just begs the question, who watched this and went, let's make another one?
Right. And this is the synopsis. Not wanting to live in the shadows any longer, Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Owl, Tigger
Yeah, because Ticker wasn't in this one.
take their fight to the town of Ashdown, leaving a bloody trail of death and mayhem in their wake.
See, I thought that Tigger wasn't in this one was because he wasn't public domain yet or something. Because I thought that was the only reason that we saw Piglet and Winnie the Pooh. I was like, oh, they're public domain, and that's why they're the serial killers in it. I thought the rest of them were just, I don't know, like they just disregarded them because they couldn't use them, like use their likeness. But you're just telling me that they just went, let's just use these two.
There's not a lot of logic here, I feel. So like
There's my, I know, I shouldn't apply logic to something like this.
right. The second one came out this year. Like it must have just come out, honestly. Maybe that's why they're talking about it. The other one came this one came out last year. So there's not a lot of time. And that's usually not okay. So they immediately kill the fiance and then they string up Christopher Robin. Did you notice by any chance when Pooh comes in and Christopher Robin is tied up and he's like, bitch, you left us? And he starts whipping Christopher Robin. You know what he's whipping him with?
Hair?
It's Eeyore's tail. that has the nail at the end of it. That's what he's whipping him with.
I thought it was like
That's
his fiance's hair. I thought they like scalped her and like whipped her with.
no.
I don't know which is more. I don't know which is more disturbing.
This one, definitely Eeyore's tail. Like this is some psychotic shit. I firmly told Elle, don't watch it. She was like, man, I kind of, because I was telling her about it, I'm like, this is what the premise is. Okay, Christopher Robin abandoned his friends and they were starving to death because he used to bring them food. And so they had to eat Eeyore and it erased any humanity they had and they turned into homicidal animals, maniacs. But Christopher Robin lives.
He does. Yeah.
So, like, why are you punishing everybody else except for Christopher? Just eat him and let everybody else go. They didn't have to get the hot tub baddie. They didn't have to get the girls who are like the girl who was recovering from a previous trauma with her friends.
Can we talk about the hot tub bit for a second there?
Yeah.
Are we? Or
She's
am I
an idiot.
skipping forward a bit too
No,
much?
we can talk about whatever you want because there was a lot of stupid stupidity.
So, this girl, who by the way, Chav. I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't, what does
Just
this mean?
just Google Chav.
Oh man, how do I spell it?
It's just CHAV. Just the way she talks and everything.
Yeah.
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 And she just hears this really harrowing story
Yes.
about her friend who was stalked by a guy who broke into her house and was watching her sleep and had a bunch of pictures of her on her laptop. This is really upsetting.
Yeah. It's traumatic.
She then goes out to the hot tub by herself, which, by the way, I think is pretty stupid.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
She then takes pictures of herself, which, by the way, she's really sexualized in this and it made me really uncomfortable.
She
But
wasn't
anyway,
even friends at all. She was just bougie.
she's taking pictures of herself, in her bikini. It's all really nice, whatever. She sees a figure in one of the photos. And she gets up and starts shouting, going like, "Oh, who's there? Who's there?" Also stupid. And then when she doesn't get a response, because who would go, "Oh yeah, sorry, just stalking you. Sorry for ruining your photo." Like no one would say that. She then gets back in the hot tub.
She says, "You're not ruining my holiday."
"Oh, don't ruin my holiday. I'm just gonna sit here, a big a big target for you to stab."
So yeah, you don't get to be like outraged that you're then being murdered or
And
like
then they like
horrified and kidnapped.
hog tied her.
It's very it was I didn't understand at all because I thought they were hungry. I thought that they were just wanted to like eat,
Yeah, so they just
but
wanted to kill her. I don't know.
they
Because they
they
didn't eat her.
hogtied her, like dragged her out, hogtied her, and then set her in the road so that they could run over her, just her head, and then left her there.
Also, and cannot, I cannot stress this enough. Where the fuck did Winnie the Pooh learn how to
That
drive?
part. Who taught you how to drive? Because
He
Christopher
does it
Robin said,
twice.
like, I'm confused.
It wasn't Christopher Robin.
No, and like, why are they playing games? What are you doing here? Why is it just for the thrill of the kill when
Yeah, because they
when you're
like
supposed to be animals?
they do like get out as well, which means are you telling me that they lost their humanity, but they still know how to write
I
English?
literally had the same thought. I said, "Oh, okay." They said they're never gonna speak again, but they'll spell.
Yeah.
Okay,
Learn sign language then.
okay.
Interpretive dance. I don't know.
Get out. Can you
Get the
imagine?
fuck out of the forest, or I'm gonna eat you like I did Eeyore.
So another thought I had. Their weapons of choice, chains and sledgehammer. I mean they are big beefcakes. But I went to a Wreck-It room last weekend
Oh, that sounds like so
and
much fun.
oh, it was so good. It's very hot in there, but they like let you connect to the a speaker that they would provide. We put on these jumpsuits and these masks, and then they give you all of this shit to break, and then a bucket of like tools. So one of them was this big old sledgehammer. My immediate thought, oh, I've seen this used in so many horror movies. I'm gonna smash something with it. That thing is so motherfucking heavy. It's so heavy. I'm like, why is this a choice? Why do they
Yet-
choose?
Yeah, and yet they swing it around like it's foam.
I literally, I was like, I'm gonna go big or go home, right? So I threw that
Of
thing over
course.
my, it almost took me down to the ground. I was like, yeah! And there's no way I'm gonna pick this up and try to like smash people with it or even self-defense with it. It's just so heavy. I'll just try running, and I'm very bad at running. And nobody's like running. There's like no sense of urgency with anybody.
Listen, Danny, you're right.
No, none. They don't just get gone. That's why.
The moment I see the words get out, I'm getting in that
One.
car. Sorry,
Get
child
less.
friend, but let's be honest, you were kind of a bummer throughout the entire thing. I'm
Definitely.
sad that you're dead, but
Gotta
oh
go.
well. Get in car, drive away.
And maybe I'm a bad person, but like nothing about this situation gives me the Captain Save-A-Ho complex where I'm like, gotta make sure no one else here is struggling before I get out.
Yeah,
No.
I get that they're all friends, but I also don't believe their friendship. Like one of them's a couple, and I don't
Yeah.
believe them as a couple at all.
No. And I'm also like, you're on this trip to help your friend. Why are you making it romantic? And this girl's like, oh, it's too soon. So have you been dating for like 5 minutes and you're doing this? That's weird. All of it's weird.
It is.
No thanks.
Oh, and let me see. I'm just trying. Oh, I've written some notes down in caps lock, and I can't remember some of the context for some of them,
Maybe I
but one
can.
of them I do, and it
Okay.
just says, "Watching him eat honey makes me want to become a nun and live out my days as a good Catholic."
Literally, it was like raping my eyes. The way he's just
Just like,
dripping in honey. And he was like literally his mouth don't work.
no,
He's just like
yeah, it's horrible.
the way he looks. Oh my gosh. And his eyes are scary and you got the greasy neck rolls and he's
Because
huge.
because the mask goes right up to his eyelids,
Yeah.
because that's not skin, like that's actually just like still part of the mask. So then there's like a little what looks like a pit, and then his eyes.
That's
And it's
horrible.
so haunting.
It's horrible. When they showed that close up of his eyes, I'm like, no, get it away. Get it away. Get it away. And he's like, I mean, Piglet got the freaking sledgehammer to the face. She tied his ass up in the chains and like good for her. But like Pooh is invincible. Christopher Robin even gets him in like in Signs. You know Signs?
Yeah, that's the one with the aliens in the water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Oh yes. Yeah, the water. Um when M. Night Shyamalan's character kills Mel Gibson's wife with his truck and like pins her in half, Christopher Robin like pulls one of those and mashes Pooh
Oh
at
yeah.
full force between the two trucks and you think, but I'm never gonna think. I'm never gonna think. Let's get up and let's get the heck out of here. And they're just like, "Oh, you're okay? Are you Maria?"
It's really intimate as well. I don't know what it is, but
No.
Christopher Robin keeps grabbing the women by their faces and like looking right into their eyes.
Yeah.
That would make me more uncomfortable than the serial killer chasing after me.
Yeah, like I'm sorry you're going through it, but you're
Ugh.
a strange white man. Don't touch me like you know me. Please.
Oh, I just remembered that they used Eeyore's tail to whip him, and honestly, I'm so upset that you pointed that out to me because that's
You're
gonna haunt me.
welcome. You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Who
It's
was the woman who they found and
I
like her
don't
face was
know.
really messed up? Was that their ginger friend?
I don't think so. I think it was a stranger.
Because she freaks out about her reflection.
Yeah, and she
I'm
will
going,
not
that is
shut the
the
fuck up.
least of your worries right now.
Right, like look at yourself later. And she's just screaming, like, hello, you dumb bitch. And then she's like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna leave until he's dead. And she's calling him like, what is everyone's problem? Like, what is your problem? I don't know what happened to all the girls. I feel like there was some girls missing.
I think I zoned out at one point and just stopped counting them because they're so interchangeable that I can't remember who the protagonist was supposed to be. I can't
Mm,
remember. The only one that was kind of distinctive
Hot tub
was
daddy.
the hot tub girl, and that's only because she wore full face of makeup
Yeah,
and actually
she was in a bathing
looked
suit
different
for
from the
most.
rest of them, and she kind of was more distinctive. And
Yeah.
then she gets murdered in the first 5 minutes. So there goes your distinctive character.
Yep.
I feel like you could have switched actresses halfway through and I wouldn't have noticed. Because
I don't know any names. I don't remember any names except for Maria, and that might
they
not
were
be right.
they were as bland as just a cooked chicken breast. That was just their acting and their personalities in this.
Yeah,
So
it was wild. There was this really gross part too. When Christopher Robin was strung up and Pooh's like, "Oh, for some extra razzle dazzle, let me shower you in guts."
oh yeah, what was that
I
about?
have no idea. Whose guts? Was it his
Yeah, who's
girlfriend's gut?
guts?
Because
Also, there's a fully picked clean skeleton
yeah,
next to him
whose
as well.
skeleton? Was it his girlfriend's skeleton? Is that why
I kind of
people?
thought that maybe it was, but then they would have
You
had to
wouldn't
like
know.
properly pick her clean, and that would have taken so much time.
I think they're insinuating that they just ate her off the bone, and Piglet is a pig. Like pigs will eat dead bodies.
And but pigs would also eat bone.
Facts. Maybe the maybe the half human animal part of him is a picky bitch and won't eat bones. I don't
Ugh,
know. I'm
can't
just
please anybody these days.
no. Yeah, they seem it's just so ridiculous.
Isn't there a bit? Correct me if I'm wrong. That Winnie the Pooh waterboards somebody with honey.
Maybe.
I think it's the girl whose face gets
Oh yeah.
messed up. I think he drips honey onto her face. And I
Yes.
just wrote down, ha ha ha, he's waterboarding her with honey.
That happened. He also slapped the entire half of someone's face off. Open hand. Palm slapped half of this guy's face off.
And the last thing, like the last point that I have is the people in the car who pull up at the end. Although actually, I think we're past that bit now. But the men who pull up, who
Yeah,
just get out of the car and start
they start talking
tying
shit.
out the thing.
Yeah.
Why are why are people so stupid?
That's a good question. Dunno. Dunno. But if you have a weapon in your hand, just use that. Don't try to use your hand, especially after you see that this giant mutant bear didn't go down after getting hit in the face with the crowbar. You know what I mean? Like, let's just all hit him with our weapons at the same time. Let's coordinate. Let's take him down. Somebody should decapitate him, even, you know?
Like that scene from Shaun of the Dead
Ah,
with with Queen playing in the background and they'll
yeah.
just go in.
Yeah. Well, one of those, you know? These people haven't seen enough horror movies. But I gotta say, like, I mean, maybe I guess that's the non-Captain Save-A-Ho in me. If I see people getting attacked by a giant mutant bear, I'm gonna mind my business. I'll call 911 for you.
If you're getting attacked by a giant mutant bear, you're on your own.
Sorry. I will
I
call
can't
911. I will.
I can't handle a normal man, and I can't handle a normal bear.
Period.
If you mix them together, I have no hope.
I have nerve damage in my hands. Like, I can't even play video games for too long. It hurts. Hurts them.
I get out of breath walking up the stairs.
I'm only 5'1". You know? Like, what are we supposed to do?
I have the coordination of a limbless
A limbless
pick an
what?
animal. A limbless duck.
Giraffe. A necklace giraffe.
A necklace giraffe with
I'm a sim.
arthritis.
I'm a sim that got two of the clumsy trait. It's just, what are we supposed to do?
I fell from the clumsy tree and hit every branch on the way down. And I landed in the clumsy bush.
So, like, the moral of the story is we're just gonna call 911 and be on our way.
The moral of the story is just because an animated character is now public domain does not mean you can traumatize people like this.
I think that was exactly the goal. Also, between this movie and Tarot, I any Airbnb that I get in the future that's like off the grid, I'm reading all of the reviews before I book it.
Wait, can you please stop talking about this movie?
Because there's really nothing else to say except writing it.
And just mindless screaming into a pillow.
Yeah, which I'll be doing after we're done.
Yeah, I did it before, and I'm gonna do it after. Full circle.
You rate it first.
-20.
I was gonna give it a two. Some of the deaths were funny. And like, how
One.
audacious to whip this man with Eeyore's tail. The audacity. I was like, this movie went there.
1.5 because the animation at the start was kind of spooky. There was a bit at the hot tub, the lights kept blinking off and they kept getting closer. That
Yeah.
was sort of freaky. And the bit with Eeyore's tail. So I give it a 1.5. But like by the skin of its teeth.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I
And
think
because I feel like giving it minus points is cheating.
it's definitely a cop out. It's I've definitely seen worse movies than this. It's just it's so ridiculous.
I think I'm just cross because I got no one to watch it with me, so I had to suffer alone.
Yeah, I mean that'll do it. I wouldn't have been able to convince anybody to watch this movie with me at all. I think we're the only ones who did. Oh, Matt's seen it, he said.
And why the hell isn't he here? He should suffer alongside us. Come on, Matt.
He said, "Oh, not today." Well,
I
we definitely won't be watching nor covering the sequel to this movie. And
think
then
I would cry.
I just can't recommend that in good conscience. Maybe it's good because it has the others. I don't know. I'm not willing to put myself at risk to find out.
I did hear that perhaps the same company is making another one, but with Bambi.
No, absolutely not. It's our Bambi's already traumatic enough.
Agreed,
Yeah.
but I just thought that I should not need to be burdened with that knowledge alone.
You know what? That's fair. I'll take I'll take that one. And in the
Thank you for your
meantime,
service.
thanks so much. Oh boy. Okay. In the meantime, you can find this podcast on the interwebs at ghostinthemagazine.site. You can find it on Instagram at GITM Podcast, and you can find me on Instagram at Steph Spector.
You can find me on Twitter at nighttime_t.
Still crying about this movie. Okay, bye.
Bye.